Okay, so I am back from seeing Scream 7. And this video is going to be like first part spoiler free. The next part is going to have spoilers in it, but I'm going to let you know when the spoilers are coming, okay? So don't panic. I won't spoil anything until I tell you, and then you can switch off, come back later. So let's just get on with this. Scream 7, let's just talk about it. So Scream 7 is a pretty strong Scream film, to be honest with you. I mean, it's very, very enjoyable. It's got everything you want from a Scream film. It's got a bit of comedy in it. The kills are quite good, and some of them are quite graphic. Actually, it's quite a violent couple of kills in this. Um, Acting wise, everyone does a phenomenal job. Neve Campbell is probably giving her all for this movie. I mean, she's got some money and she's producing this one, so she's obviously put some money into it. So she's giving more than I think she's ever given in a Scream film. But the supporting cast are good as well. People like that McKenna Grace and that really put everything they can into making this film good. The girl that plays Sydney's daughter nails it. She plays the role well, and we get to see that relationship between Sydney and her daughter and stuff like that. And that really does deepen into the film to make it more of a standout film. The Ghostface stuff, brilliant as ever. Ghostface is always brutal and vicious with the killings, and we get to see some bloody stuff. I've said it already, but there's some real bloody kills in this one. It's pretty good. I was whoa, and a couple of jump scares that make you like your heart leaps, but not over too many, because some films I feel like they sort of rely on jump scares. This one gives them to you at perfect points to make you go, to get you all back in the game of the film. Very good. Now, I will say it's probably a good idea to have watched the previous Scream films before you go into this one, because this one relies a lot on the nostalgia of the previous movies and references to the previous movies. If you're a Scream fan, much as I am, you will spot the subtle references and some of the in-your-face references. They really sort of go, there's a reference at some points, you know what I mean? They really sort of throw them in your face at some points. But it's subtle things like a coat that's being worn. It's things like musical things. They'll drop a song in the film. You're like, that's from Scream this, that's from Scream that. You know, it's a lot of things like that in the film. So it would help. You'll get more out of it. You can still, if you haven't seen the Scream films, you'll still enjoy this one because you pretty much work out what's going on anyway, and you can enjoy this as a film itself. But if you've seen the previous Scream films, you're going to get a lot more out of it. That's what I'll say about that. Apart from that, I mean, without spoilerish giving it away, pretty decent. Pretty decent film. I will say that when it comes to sort of like, as also it follows the formula of all Scream films. So you get the opening kills, then you get story sort of building up characters, then you get mad crazy like death scenes, and the whole way through it you're like, who's the killer? Who's the killer? Because again, all Scream films are generally whodunits. You're trying to work out all the way through who is the killer, or who is the killers, or who is the team, or whatever it is from the previous Scream films. You're doing exactly the same with this one. You're trying to work it out in exactly the same way. But I feel the reveal in this one isn't as impactful as in previous films. That's my only really negative thing I can say about this franchise. The reveal at the end wasn't as impactful. But apart from that, it's pretty good. And you can still enjoy it. It's not as impactful. It's still an enjoyable ending. And you still get that like feel of a Scream movie. It does feel very Scream. But Neve Campbell being back helps do that as well. She wasn't in the previous film, and that is referenced in this one, the fact she wasn't in that one, but it's done in such a great way. So it's well worth you seeing this one. I promise you, it is a decent Scream movie. And if you're a Scream fan, you're going to love it. Now, spoiler time. So I'll hopefully going to write the word spoiler down there if I remember. But I really, I'm going to get into spoilers now. We're going to go straight for the jugular of spoilers from the start. We're going to go straight to the end of the movie, okay? Because this is the part that I'm going to be negative about, and then we're going to go sort of into the more positive stuff. So, the end of this movie, the killers that are revealed to be the killers is a bit of a letdown. Because it's probably the weakest connection to Sydney and the rest of the cast ever. And it's quite like, huh? Like, you can tell that this wasn't the original plan. You can tell that, obviously, with the problems they had during production, that the rewrites and all that, this was not where they originally were going to go. Because, like, the ending, when they reveal the killers, are you kind of like, them? Huh? And then it's like, what? Why? So, the killers we find out at the very end, we find out one halfway through the movie. he's just a random dude who was in the coffee shop is a killer halfway through the movie because he gets mowed down by old Gale Weathers, and the team from the previous film turn up, like the two twins and that, who I still think are the killers. If you watch my previous video where I do a whole thing about how I believe that those two are behind all of the killings in the previous two Scream films, they're in this one again. I think they're doing it still. I still think in a future Scream film, they're going to be behind all of it from the moment we saw the Carpenter sisters. And I was talking to Carpenter sisters, they were missed in this one. I like the Carpenter sisters, and I kind of wish they were in this one. It's such a shame politics got in the bloody way, like it does with everything. It ruins everything, doesn't it, nowadays? Politics ruins everything. Who cares if someone's got a different point of view? Just let them be in the film. Anyway, back to the film. Yeah, so it was a bit weak. So you find out it's the guy that was from the random guy from CAF, and you find out it's the zany next door neighbour who's played by the girl from Pitch Perfect, and Mark from Empire Records, who was the guy that worked in the Nut House with the psychos. Oh, it was just like, I was like, really? We going there? And I was kind of let down. It was good the way they got killed at the end. It was good the way sort of the whole in the chair with the knife and the dad who should be dead but isn't it. There's a lot of this going on in Scream, like the people that should be dead don't die. But anyway, so there's a lot of that going on, and I do honestly think that could have been done a lot better. And for some reason, the ending kind of kept going and ended a lot later than it should have done. It should have ended with them, the two walking away, like Sydney and her daughter walking away, like having worked out they sort of bonded a bit more, and like daughter's not as weak as she thought. But they kept going this whole outside the house bit, and it went on a bit too long for me. I was like, oh, come on. And I was waiting for something else to happen. Like, maybe this isn't the end. Maybe we're going to get another ending. Maybe something new's going to happen. And it never bloody came. And I was like, what was the point of that? But I will say, like, again, the rest of the film up to that point, I enjoyed. So it did fall short at the very end. Now, highlights of this film, the young cast did fantastic, phenomenal job. The person playing Sydney's daughter is great in the role. And I was kind of thinking maybe there's going to be a twist as like, is like Billy her dad or something like we're going to get the whole thing again. There's another one. We never see that twist and nothing ever happened. Obviously, that's a lie, actually. Why would I even think that? I don't know why I just said that, because that makes no sense at all. But anyway, I was kind of like thinking maybe there's something different going on there. But we got a good relationship, because this whole film is about like Sydney and her daughter. The daughter obviously living in Sydney's shadow, feeling like she's the victim, not the hero. And Sydney's kind of not helping that, but trying to shield her so much. And you get the sort of thing where Sydney's got to teach her daughter in the sort of final end part of the film, the third act of the film, to be brave and to stand up and become the hero, not the victim. And that's well done as well. Sort of the fact that Sydney's got to pass on the knowledge of how to use a gun and all that stuff, while not being able to help herself, having to let her daughter do that instead. And that's a strong message the film brings out, sort of with your children. You kind of got to let them go to do the things they need to do. And I thought that was great. McKenna Grace, obviously big star, rising star, doesn't last very long in this film. I thought she's in the Ice Nine Kills video for this and all that. I thought she'd last a bit longer. Her death scene, brilliant though. As soon as I saw her in the harness flying around like Peter Pan, I was like, I know how she's going to die. She's going to be swinging and Ghostface is going to... And it happened. I saw it coming. I actually saw Mark from Empire Records, which is what I'm going to be calling him from now on, the guy that was working in the thing. I worked out that he was going to be a killer as soon as I saw him. As soon as he said that Stu was John Doe and he was kind of fobbing him off, I was like, he's one of the killers. I kind of saw it coming. But again, it was all right, but it should have been more than that. It should have been more. I will say the AI stuff, the stuff they do with Stu, brilliant. Like him, again, him acting in this film, Matthew Lillard does a phenomenal job as the AI version of Stu. And like, again, watching it, I was kind of like, when you get to the end of the film and you see that stuff, you're like, this does not make sense, because they wouldn't know the stuff that he knew. So that was kind of annoying as well. I know I'm jumping around a bit with this review, but if you've seen the film, you'll get where I'm coming with certain parts of this. That it didn't make sense. The stuff he was coming out with, they wouldn't know that. So it was kind of frustrating a little bit when the film finished. I kept thinking back to it like, that don't make no sense. Because I really thought it was going to be someone we knew would have outed it all. But yeah, again, the gory kill, I mean, when McKenna Grace is flying and Ghostface just does that across the, and all her fallout, disgusting. Now, the blood and guts is pretty good in this film. And as I said, there's a lot of lays like nostalgic moments where you reference back, like when she puts the jacket. As soon as she put that jacket on, being a big Scream fan I was like, that's the jacket from Scream 2. And then again, Sydney looks at it and she's like, oh my God, why is she, like, she said, like, take the jacket off because it freaks her out. She remembers the last time she was wearing that was Scream 2 and the stabbings and all that sort of stuff. Then I thought to myself, why bloody keep the jacket then? You know what I mean? And it was weird. And anyway, there's a few weird parts in this movie where I know it's going to be one of those where I watch it back again, I'll be like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. It's like one of those. And again, we know there's been a lot of rewrites for this film. So there might be stuff that we're going to keep and it sort of got changed and it doesn't work with the stuff they'd already done and all that stuff. You can see the issues. It's like when you watch like the Solo movie, you know there's so much that they had to redo and rewrite. It kind of ruined what we got at the end. I think it's the same with this film, that there was so much that they had to rechange and rejig around and probably kept some stuff in the previous one. It didn't fit. Like the twins being in this one is really random. Like them coming, oh yeah, we now work for Gail, so we just sort of hang around with her and we turn up at the nick of time and solve all these problems and then we out stuff and do what we did in the previous two films, which I still think they're the killers. If you watch I've got a video where I say that they are the killers, and I believe that those two have been working together from the whole Carpenter sister saga, and they are behind all of the killings, and you could link them to that as well, because they always seem to get stabbed about halfway through the movie and survive. Every time. That's too much stuff. That's too much of a coincidence for me. I know Dewey did it a few times, but this is too much of a coincidence. But anyway, I'm trying to think of anything else I can say about this film. I did enjoy it. It was a good Scream film. It's pretty decent. I get the needle drop with different songs. That song that sounds like Freddie Mercury going, ah, in it, that drops at the end of the film. But yeah, the ending of the film, it seemed to go on too long for me. Like as soon as Sydney and her daughter killed the ghost faces and then went off, I thought that was the end. But then they sort of had a bit with Gail and stuff. And I was like, why do we need all that? It's a bit of an extra bit. And I was kind of thinking there was going to be more to this movie. Maybe another killer was going to pop out. We are going to get a nod to the next one because they've greenlit Scream 8, haven't they? They've already greenlit it. So I thought we was going to get a thing to that. The opening kill, I will say, I knew from the trailer that was the opening kill. Like the whole them in the house and Stu's old house and the sort of it was called Stu Mocker experience, didn't they? Where you go into the Stu Mocker house and you've got the robot Ghostface. From the trailer I was like, that's not a robot. And then we kind of see that, and then we see like her getting burnt up. I thought that was quite graphic actually as well, because she says like when they're talking about the one that dies in Scream 4. And she gets set on fire, and that girl says, I would hate to go that way. And then he sadistically pours the petrol on her and sets her on fire. That was really brutal. Really brutal. Talking of brutal, they diss Scream 6 because Gail says at one point to Neve Campbell, Sydney, she says to her, it's a good job you weren't in New York and you're well out of that one because that one was brutal. And I thought to myself, is that a jab at it? Like saying that the film was brutally bad and it's a good job you weren't in it, because obviously Gail's referencing the fact she got stabbed up as well and she's got like nerve damage. You see her hand twitches off. That was a great thing to hark back to as well, the fact she's got that like nervous, she's got that like twitchy where her nerves been damaged. But anyway guys, I've thoroughly enjoyed the movie, even though I've been a bit negative about parts of it. I'm a bit picky. I'm probably going to get more picky about it the next second time I watch it, but I still did enjoy it. So let me know what you think. I really want to know what you think. Did you see the same problems I saw with it? Do you think that we're missing the Carpenter sisters? Do we want them back? I would love them back. I want them back with Neve Campbell and working together with the daughter as well. I think it would be fantastic to have a team of like final girls that sort of can go through into the future of this franchise. So let me know what you think. Are you happy with this installment of Scream? What did you think of the killers? Were you happy with them? Let me know. And please, because I love the conversations. I love that we all have these different theories and points of view in that. So I'll see you guys again for a future review. And I might even do more Scream videos. I think I'm not done talking about this. I might go and see it again and then do another video. Anyway, guys, see you soon. Bye. Oh, also, if you go to Sainsbury's, they've got a Scream magazine available. But it's bloody expensive. But just to let you know, there's a Scream magazine in Sainsbury's. Oh, and the trailer before this film was for a film called Passenger, and it scared the living Jesus out of me. So go on YouTube and look for the trailer for a film called Passenger. It will make you jump out of your seat. Everyone in my cinema screamed. Bye.